अस्सलामुअलैकुम। आज जो हमारा टॉपिक है वो है जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल्स ऑन व्यूज ऑन डेमोक्रेसी। डेमोक्रेसी पे जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल के क्या विचार है, डेमोक्रेसी पे जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल का क्या कहना है, आज हमारा टॉपिक यही है। तो अब हम सीधे आएंगे। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी वुड लाइक टू सी हु वाज जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल। जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल वाज द मोस्ट इन्फ्लुएंशियल पॉलिटिकल थिंकर ऑफ द 19th सेंचुरी। जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल जो थे वो एक इन्फ्लुएंशियल पॉलिटिकल थिंकर माने जाते हैं 19th सेंचुरी में। जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल के जो पिता थे, जो उनके पापा थे, उनका नाम जेम्स मिल था। नॉट ओनली जेम्स मिल बट आल्सो जर्मी बेंथम, who has been the teacher of John Stuart Mill, had a great influence on John Stuart Mill. जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल पे जेम्स मिल और जर्मी बेंथम का काफ़ी ज़्यादा इन्फ्लुएंस रहा है। In his political theory, liberalism made a transition from laissez-faire to an active role of the state. We know that liberalism emerged in West in 17th and 18th century onwards. During its early times, liberalism believed in the philosophy of laissez-faire. This laissez-faire is a French word which means leave alone. So during its initial phase, liberalism believed in limited government. It was not giving more powers to the government. So individual was left alone because individual was a rational creature. But with the passage of time, we saw that this liberalism came under attack from several quarters. In order to protect the legacies of his father and also of his teacher Jeremy Bentham, John Stuart Mill made a modification within liberalism. That means it got transferred from a laissez-faire to an active role of the state. Now, state was given more functions. State was entrusted with more functions, more powers, in order to ensure the protection of the freedom of an individual. During its early phase, more stress was given on the negative freedom of an individual. But during the reign of John Stuart Mill, positive dimension also came into existence. Positive notion of freedom. That means individual can enjoy the freedom along with the laws given by given by the state, framed by the respective governments. During its early phase, that means during social contract tradition, there was a notion of atomist concept of individual. That means individual was like an atom. He was independent of other things, mechanical in nature. State was mechanical in nature. But with the passage of time, this notion was also changed. Now, social conception of individuality came into existence. That means now individual has to take into consideration the feelings, emotions of other individuals also. He's not like an atom in a machine, which are independent of each other, but he's a social being. Now coming directly to the John Stuart Mill's notion of democracy. So before proceedings, we will see what actually democracy is. This word democracy has a Greek origin because first democratic government ever existed was in Athens in 5th century BC. This democratic word has came into existence from a Greek democratia, which means people's rule, which means people's rule, which says that people are the real decision makers, people are the sovereign. Democracy stands for rule by the people. Democracy stands for the rule by the people. And it's only the people's participation which gives legitimacy to any government. In order to make a government legitimate, in order to derive legitimacy, people's participation is must. Coming directly to the views of John Stuart Mill on democracy. He has wrote an important work in 1861 called Considerations on Representative Government. 1861 में जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल ने एक अहम बुक लिखी है Considerations on Representative Government. इसमें जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल तीन एडवांटेजेस देता है. जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल हैज गिवन थ्री एडवांटेजेस टू डेमोक्रेसी और नॉन डेमोक्रेटिक गवर्नमेंट. फर्स्ट जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल क्या कहता है? डेमोक्रेसी कंपेल्स the decision makers to take into account public interest and opinion. So it's only possible in a democratic form of government that public interest and opinion is respected. It will not be possible in other forms of government, alternative forms of government. It's only possible within a democratic form of government that rulers, that decision makers, whenever they frame law, first their concern is public interest and also public opinion. Public opinion is being given respect, public interest is taken care of. Second is democracy brings in multiple views in the process of decision making. So it is only possible in a democracy that multiple views came into existence. People from different backgrounds, people from different religions, different regions, different castes, they come to the forum. They come to the forum. They come to the forum. They come to the platform. They present their views. On certain occasions, their views are contradictory in nature. They are having different opinion. So it is the heart of the democracy that debates and discussions took place. And after these debates and discussions, we come to the conclusion. And this is the hallmark of our democracy. That people with different backgrounds, people with different aspirations, people with different predilections are respected. They present their opinions. Third, democracy also helps in character building of citizens. It's only possible within a democratic system, within a democratic administration, that character building of citizens takes place. They inculcate the values of like rationality, autonomy, and independent thinking. This is possible only within a democracy. This is possible only within a democracy that people's character building took place. Values like rationality, autonomy, and independent thinking happens there. This creates pressure of public opinion on political leaders. It's only possible within a democratic system that pressure of public opinion occurs on political decision makers. Decision makers पे pressure आता है public opinion का, and they have to respect it in order to ensure their security of tenure. अपना security of tenure बचाने के लिए, रखने के लिए, permanence रखने के लिए, they have to respect the public opinion. They cannot disregard, they cannot neglect, they cannot sideline the public opinion. They have to take into consideration if they have to remain in power. This is the hallmark of a democracy. Mill advocated democracy only for those societies. मिल ने डेमोक्रेसी उन समाज के लिए अच्छी फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट रखी है where people are educated, rational, noble and virtuous. मिल कहता है कि people should be educated, they should be rational, they should be noble and virtuous in order to have a democratic form of government, because it can survive only in that system. On the other hand, where people are ignorant, where people are passive, where people follow more vices, democracy may not be a good form of, cannot be a good form for those societies. Democratic forum could only function with citizens who were of an active self-helping character. Self अपनी मदद आप करो. तो individual should be independent, they should be active. It's a good feature of a democratic government. Mill advocated participation in public affairs. As a means of counterbalancing human selfishness. In order to sideline the human selfishness, Mill advocated participation in public affairs. Backward civilization where citizens were primarily passive would hardly be able to run a representative democracy. According to Mill, it will be an uphill task on the part of a society which is backward. to run a representative government. It will be an uphill task because people are not active, they are passive, they are not self-helping character. Citizen in a democratic country, citizens have to show their ability and willingness. Democratic countries में जो citizens है, they have to show their ability, they have to show their willingness. They should always be vigilant, active to preserve institutions of representative democracy. पार्लियामेंट है, जुडिशरी है, एग्जीक्यूटिव है, पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज है, प्रेस है, प्रेशर ग्रुप्स है, इनको प्रिजर्व करने के लिए, जो सिटीजन है, दे शुड हैव द एबिलिटी, दे शुड ऑलवेज बी विलिंग टू शोल्डर दिस रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. मिल, जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल, fearing tyranny of majority. जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल को टायरनी ऑफ मेजॉरिटी, जो डेमोक्रेसी बिलीव्स इन द रूल ऑफ मेजॉरिटी, जिसको जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल और एलेक्सिस डी टॉकवाइल ने टायरनी ऑफ मेजॉरिटी के नोशन से सपोर्ट किया है, याद किया है. तो मिल सपोर्टेड द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ प्लूरल वोटिंग. मिल ने कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ प्लूरल वोटिंग दिया है. कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ प्लूरल वोटिंग, प्लूरल वोटिंग का मीन्स, इट मीन्स गिविंग मोर वोट्स, giving more representation to those people who are educated, who are charactered, who are rational. And it also means giving value to their education. तो यहाँ पे मिल ने वर्ड इरेस्पेक्टिव ऑफ जेंडर इस्तेमाल किया. इट मीन्स दैट मिल वॉज अ फेमिनिस्ट. Mill has supported women suffrage directly from Plato's The Republic. This continuation, there has been not even a single political philosopher till Mill who has supported female franchise. It was only John Stuart Mill in the 19th century who has supported female franchise, who has given a right to vote to the woman as well, who supported for it. And it was only due to the influence of Harriet Taylor, first his teacher and later on his wife. So he supported it. Mill said that democracy is not suitable for non-European society. Non-European society के लिए democracy अच्छी form of government नहीं है. He supported despotism. Mill ने despotism को support किया in non-European societies, and also Mill was a supporter of British imperialism. मिल ने यूरोपियन समाज के लिए डेमोक्रेसी को सपोर्ट किया है. जो नॉन यूरोपियन समाज थे, जैसे लैटिन अमेरिकन कंट्रीज, जैसे एशियन कंट्रीज, जैसे अफ्रीकन कंट्रीज, वहाँ पे जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल ने ज़्यादा तरजीह डेस्पोटिज्म को दी है. डेस्पोटिज्म बिलीव्स दैट वन पार्टी रूल, वन मैन रूल, वायर पीपल्स एस्पायरेशंस, वायर पीपल्स राइट्स आर नॉट टेकन केयर ऑफ. ही वॉज आल्सो ए सपोर्टर ऑफ ब्रिटिश इंपीरियलिज्म बिकॉज ही वॉज आल्सो एन एम्प्लॉय इन East India Company. So Mill supported British imperialism not only in India but throughout the world, because it was British imperialism was being supported not for the economic interests, but it was a civilizing mission. People will become educated, they will become rational. When they will become educated and rational, later on we can have a democratic system also there. So it was a preparation for those people. It was a preparation for the people of colonized countries, imperialist countries, to have a democracy in near future. So I think it was all for this lecture, all for today. I think it was a good lecture. If you have any comments, you can write in the comment box. Thank you.